And good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Pattison Ave Phanatics Show. I am James Scorza filling in for TK once again this week. With me, as always, the group of companions on this Saturday morning, Joey Marks.
Good morning, Philadelphia.
Cowboy Dave, what's happening, brother?
How's everybody doing? Good to see everybody. What's going down?
Frank Finnegan, morning.
Just another day. Just another day.
Damon Salim, what's going on, my friend?
Good morning, James. Good morning, fellas. Happy Sports Philadelphia weekend.
Yeah, it's definitely is.
Philadelphia week.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun week.
That too.
I don't know. I don't know.
Too.
I don't know if we're going to survive the week.
I know. I saw your text last night, Frank.
Yeah.
I'm like, most of us might be asleep at the parade. We'll be on each other.
It's taken light years away from Frank, that's for sure.
I didn't have any to give.
10 in the morning.
Frank's like, can I just have a DeLorean right now, please?
Doc, save me. Doc, save me.
It's pretty magical. It's pretty magical.
Look, boys.
Yeah, we got a lot to get to. We got the Eagles coming up on trying to stay undefeated. Phillies trying to win game 2. By the way, happy anniversary to our Fighting Phils. 14 years ago today, capturing that world title. I'm trying to make it to 3 World Series titles at the end of the week, like we mentioned, and hopefully we'll be awake by then. Sixers struggling, and the Flyers surprising us, like especially me, for example. But Joey, where do we begin on this Saturday?
We're going to start with the Phillies, but in a different tone. So, last time we all talked, it was Saturday, and the Phillies won on Sunday, and I'm sure that we all have these stories. And I wanted to get like a rundown. Sunday night, Bryce Harper hits a 2-run home run into the night to send the Phillies to the World Series. Where were you? What was it like? Where did you do? Damon Salim, I'm going to start with you. What was your household like?
Well, I had
Sunday night.
On Sunday night, I had just gotten back from Maryland. I had to take my son back to school, and as I'm watching the game, very, very good game, obviously. And I'm just going to go right to so Realmuto gets on. And I'm watching Harper's at bat, and you guys know James has heard me say this. I love watching the pitcher and the batter. I just that's baseball to me, right?
Yep.
And when he laid off the changeup, Joey, I kid you not, I said he's got him. That's exactly what I said. He got him because if you recall, he was fouling off the balls or whatever. Mm-hmm. And that changeup was the 6th pitch. He laid off. I said he got him, and sure enough, that 7th one, man. Boom! And I just went, wow. I mean, and then to see the stadium shake as it did, it was crazy. And I worked with a few people. Some of them were there on Saturday. Some were there on Sunday. They said it was electric. Yeah, man. And I actually watched the replay again the other morning. I think it was Wednesday morning or Thursday morning. I can't remember. And just to see it again, man, he's locked in, dude. I was just like, wow. It was great, man. It was awesome.
Frank Finnegan. What were you doing on Sunday?
Actually, I was sitting in my lounge chair. My son was fiddling around with my wife's computer because we couldn't get the printer to work. And guys, I'm the pop of this group. I've been around a long time, and I've seen a lot of things in sports. That's the greatest home run I've ever seen in Philadelphia sports history.
Wow, that's big.
And I mean, I had season tickets. 14 years of Mike Schmidt's career.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was at the 80 World Series. I was at Game 6.
That's the comparable home run. Yep.
I seen quite a lot of things. I was at the 4th and 26 game.
Wow.
I've never in my life witnessed a moment like that in Philadelphia.
Does that beat Smitty's home run against the Expos?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow. Does that beat Ryan Howard's get me to the plate?
I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. That's all.
It's comparable. It's comparable to Ryan Howard's get me to the plate. Mm-hmm. It's comparable to Matt Stairs into the night. Mm-hmm. It's comparable to Mike Schmidt's home run in Montreal, which I witnessed as well.
Oh, wow!
I remember that.
I wasn't there at the game, but I mean, I was sitting on my sofa in the living room with my girlfriend at the time, and I just looked at her, and actually I called the home run before he hit it. I said, he's going to hit a home run here, and this game's over. And he did. Honest to God, guys, I've never seen anything in my life. And I've been watching Philadelphia sports for 50 years now. And I've never seen anything like that.
Wow.
Never.
That's amazing.
I mean, that's comparable to Fraser Ali in Madison Square Garden.
Wow.
That's how big I believe that is. I think I sent you guys a text on that on my top 10 all times.
So Dave, where were you and what did you do on Sunday?
I was dealing a lot. I had a lot to deal with on Sunday. We had a injury at softball, which wasn't pretty.
Yikes.
Are
they okay?
One of our, he's okay. He took a shot to the ball in the face. Yeah, he was running down. He was running down the first base line, and the second baseman was trying to make a double play, and he threw the ball and he hit him in the face as he was running down the line.
Shit.
It wasn't pretty. So I was kind of dealing with that. I was kind of dealing with other things for softball. So there was a lot going on Sunday. Sunday was not a good day for me. I just plain out bad day all around.
Right.
But to go to your point, Joey, with the Harper home run, I did see it. Believe me, it was outstanding. I mean, that place was jumping. It was great. I got to my room. I was getting changed. I actually came home. I was getting changed, doing the thing. I turned it on, and I actually turned it on at that point when I saw him. Yeah, I was like, it didn't I didn't expect that. That wasn't. I didn't expect to see that.
That's called great timing.
Right, great timing. That's all it was. It was that's all it was. Like I said, I was busy all day long, so I came home. The only thing that's pretty much what I saw. But to make a long story short, that place was jumping. It was great to see. Now, personally, I don't know what the manager was thinking for the Padres. I think I would have walked Harper at that point.
Or put in Hader.
All
you had to do was put Hader in.
Right. Well, that's what I don't understand. Like, what's the point of getting Hader for? He's your closer. So my first reaction was great, Harper. I love it. That's great. Congratulations. It's awesome. But my second thought was, well, why didn't you just walk Harper and bring in Hader? I mean, at least you would have had a chance because you're still up 3-2 at that point. There's
a lot of schools of thought to that.
Right. And things, a lot of things.
He wouldn't have had to walk Harper if he brought in Hader because Hader's splits on Harper are ridiculous.
Right. I agree with that. But my point being is Hader's best closer in the game, so why wouldn't you bring him in?
Right. I think he was thinking
that's what you got him for, Dave.
That's what you got him for. That's my point.
Yeah, but I mean,
exactly.
I didn't know whether he wanted to push him 5 outs. That's what I think he was thinking.
Right, and I understand that too.
Your season's on the line, so
your season's on the line, so you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
But it was a long day for me, guys. It really was. Sunday was not pretty by any stretch.
So as long as he's okay, it's cool.
He was in the ER for 5 hours.
Broken nose or something?
Cheekbone, nose, the whole 9 yards.
Oh my God!
It wasn't pretty.
How old is the kid?
He's mid. I would say mid-30 maybe. He's actually an EMT in Aston. Aston or Chester, one of those two. I think it's Aston.
So the softball did all that? A softball?
Yeah. Well, the shortstop picked up the ball, threw it to second to get, and then the second baseman threw it to first to get the double play. Well, the first baseman never attempted to catch the ball. So what happened was as he was running down the line, the ball hit him right here, and his whole face blew up like a balloon. It wasn't pretty. He was down for.
That's never pretty. It's never
and he was down for 20 minutes, 25 at the most. His girlfriend took him to the ER, and the problem was we were playing with 9 guys at the time, and you can't play with 8, so we were down a player, and the game was over at that point. And we were only, and the problem was we were only in the first inning when it happened. So I mean, so we didn't get a chance to even finish the game by any stretch. Then there was confrontation between the two teams. It just wasn't pretty. So at the end of the night, he gave us a text message saying he was going to be okay. And thank God there was no surgery needed. That's what was our most concern.
Wow.
They didn't need to do surgery, which was thank God.
Yeah.
But he's out a good 6 to 8 weeks. So
wow.
Pass on our best wishes to him.
I definitely will. His name's Gordon Pippin. Maybe you guys don't know. I don't know if you know him or not. He's a big EMT guy. Great friend, great guy, a very reliable dude. Shows up every Sunday when we need him.
What's his name?
Gordon Pippin. His name is Gordon Pippen.
Okay.
But like I said, he's going to be okay. It was just like I said, Sunday was a nightmare for me all around. The only I got a Cowboy win out of it. That's pretty much what I got. That's pretty much,
didn't you?
right. Well, I didn't even, guys. I didn't see anything. Like I saw nothing. The only thing I saw, like I said, when I came home, I saw the Harper like bet, and that was pretty much where it was done. But
and it's probably hard. It's probably hard to see the Harper thing, and even as a Phillies fan, get up after the type of day you had.
It was tough. It was tough. But I know he's a big Phillies fan, and I know it probably made his day. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So
probably couldn't scream or anything, but you know.
No, guys, it was ugly. Believe me, it was ugly.
So James, what was your Sunday story? What were you doing on Sunday?
Yeah, I think the one thing I'm still in shock is that I can't believe it still happened. I mean, I'm still like pinching myself to this day about how that home run came about. But overall, like where I was in my living room with my mom and dad, and I remember just screaming like, "Oh my God, he just hit a home run!" I'm like, I mean, I was like, dude, even to this day, I still can't say I had seen better history than that. I mean, obviously for me, it's Simone Gagne against Boston in 2010, but this one has to be number one for me. This is especially the best one for me. Before we go any further, we are proudly sponsored today by David R. Cherry Esquire. David R. Cherry Esquire, workers' compensation, motor vehicle accidents, personal injury, criminal law. Give him a call at 610-565-0300 and tell him that the EOP and Pattison Ave Phanatics sent you.
I think the Padres called him because they needed somebody to protect them against stealing their hearts. That's what we did. Stole their hearts.
Yeah, but so
that's what's it.
Yeah.
So my Sunday story
kind
of went very interesting. So I'm sitting in my living room, my daughter's playing, and my wife's there, and we're down 1 run, and we're in the 8th inning, and I see Harper's up, and I'm like, okay. And to get to the strike 2, he overswung.
Mm-hmm.
And he stepped out of the batter's box, and I could tell he was I could kind of sense he was talking to himself, going, "Stop, end this. Stop doing more than you need to. Let it come to you. You're letting him beat you, and you're the better player. So let it come to you." He pep talked himself after that second strike, and he's like, he went back into that box, and Damon said it earlier. He locked in. Like, he looked that guy straight in the eyes and said, "You are not winning this. I am not going back to San Diego."
Taking that pitch before you hit the home run showed everybody he was locked.
That was the one. And let me go back. I don't know if you guys heard. So when he and Realmuto were standing on the steps, waiting to go,
I heard this.
He says, "Let's give him something to
remember.
Let's give him something to remember."
Yeah.
And that's why I compared that to get me up. Get me up to the plate, guys. So guys like that, like the Harpers and the Howards, and we'll get to the Sixers and the Maxis. These are special players, man. I'll say this, guys. Frank and I remember this, and this is reminiscent of the '80s when all the teams were doing well, and I'm getting that vibe again. And on top of that, we have special players in this city.
Yes.
We have in every we can even throw in a Union, but in the 4 for 4, there's serious special players, man. And I'm embracing this moment, man. This is incredible. This is
cherish this because Dane, you know this as well as I do. This Phillies team is different than any previous team that went this far before. Well, maybe they can be comparable to the '93 Phillies because
they're a little bit better. No.
I don't mean as far as the talent. I mean as far as the magic of the moment.
Oh yeah. Right. They did come out.
Nobody expected this. Nobody expected. I mean, I called.
Someone in this panel did.
Somebody did.
In this panel
well, what I said was they were going to be in the World Series. I said I don't know if they're going to.
And you did say that a few weeks.
You did say that. And I'm holding you.
And you guys all laughed at me. You were like,
"No, you said if I recall, you said they will be in the World Series. Now they'll win it, but they'll be in it, and I got to give you credit.
I can't
got some
explain
like that,
why. I can't explain how.
You did.
I can't explain what's going to make it happen, but I just
look. I had him going to the NLCS and possibly losing to the Dodgers. Now the Dodgers didn't make it to the NLCS, but I'm like, okay,
this team would have beat the Dodgers.
Yeah. Well, to get back to my story, so I'm on the floor and my daughter's playing, and Harper hits the home run, and I literally jump up and I grab my daughter and I pull a Kobe Bryant, and I'm dancing around my living room with my daughter in my hand, and I'm like, Payne, we're going to the World Series. She's 2. She goes, World Series, and I'm like,
awesome.
okay.
You didn't throw her, did you?
No.
You didn't throw up in the air, did you?
No.
Because you scared me, Davey. I literally did a Kobe Bryant. You shot her with
That's what I'm saying.
She was a 3 balls. You shot her.
But
you throw her to the couch. What you do?
But my wife. So we're half a block away from Broad Street. So my wife and I go out with my daughter, and my daughter experiences all of it. Just looks around and everything. We come back in and we give her dinner, and my wife starts to break down, and I go, "What's wrong?" And we're watching like the post game, and I shared this with Cuz over the week.
I heard this,
and so my wife starts to break down. I said, "What's wrong?" And she's like, "I feel bad that you're not able to see this." And I said, "Well, I understand that, but I'm seeing it I'm seeing it through her eyes, which is the most purest and most innocent way of seeing it." And I said, "Look, she doesn't understand everything. She's not going to remember everything from this. I get it, but when we went out to Broad Street, she's describing everything to me because she's describing it out loud because she can't get over it. She's like, what the hell is this?" And I'm like, and I'm explaining it kind of to her, but she was my eyes, and she's gonna be my eyes, and I was so happy. I said this to Matty B. I'm like, I was kind of glad that they clinched in that 5th game because the other game would have been at night versus being a day game, and I'm like, she's not gonna experience anything. And so I was like, we have to win this game. Because I wanted her to experience that. Now, me and my wife are trying to come up with a strategy so that she can experience the World Series if we win the World Series and everything. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But like that's the thing is, I'm a new father, and like when you are experiencing sports, like I've heard it from Tom, I've heard it from my buddy Will and everything. Like when you're experiencing it with your family, it's and your children, it's one thing. It's like a whole different thing than when you did it when you were younger and experienced it on your own. And I had a theory on like the hater thing. So I didn't want to say, because we all know if you say it out loud, it's a jinx. It's not going to come true. So I'm watching the game and we're down by 2, and I thought that they were going to bring in Hader for 5 outs.
I did too.
And I'm like, okay. So I'm all getting ready for that to happen, and it didn't. But I said, however, if they bring in Hader, I'm not scared. Because in the 9th inning, if everyone got out into the 9th inning, the person that would have been up to bat would have been Bryson Stott. And Bryson Stott owns Hader. Remember, but earlier in the season, Bryson Stott hit a home run off of Josh Hader. Prior to that home run, Josh Hader hadn't given up a home run in 2 years. And I said, if Bryson Stott comes up with Hader and there's a man on and Bryson Stott walks off for the World Series, I don't know if that place would have been able to handle the chaos. I really don't. But despite that, Bryce Harper, MV3, the cavalry has arrived. And I'm elated. about that because this just shows how deep skill and talent wise this team is, and they're just going to get better.
Well, it only makes sense for me for Harper to be the guy in that moment, and I say that to say I remember I'm in my car, listening to Mike Missinelli's show, and Natalie Eganoff announces we signed Harper, and I think that was 2018 or whatever it was, and then he goes through different managers and he had up and down. He got MVP last year. And I just kept saying, wow, man, because I'm thinking 13 years, my God. But it makes sense, particularly with that sport, particularly with a guy like him. I just want to say this about Harper. I was always intrigued with Harper when he came into the league. He was 19, and seeing him pictures of him when he was 15, he was a prodigy, obviously. And I was never jealous of him, nothing like that. Never hated on him like that. Always intrigued by him more so than anything. And so is the dog. And I feel you. And so to see where he's going through, and oh, by the way, Joey and James, his elbow's not right. And when I talked about
right.
Show, but he's found some type of water or some juice because that thing is working.
Well,
now.
I said this before. I've said this to Al. I said this to Matty B. I said this to a couple. He's not feeling any pain. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. He's not you're gonna have to shoot him to get him out of the World Series. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
His adrenaline's so high. He's not feeling anything at this point.
And so he's built for that moment. He's that's who he is. And man, did he come through.
So there was a story reported, and I love it. So after they clinched going to the World Series after Game 5, Middleton walks up to Harper and says, "I think I underpaid you," and I'm like, I don't know if you could say that for a $330 million
$30 million contract.
Wow. But if you think about it, and I said this, I think on a group text or whatnot, you got to think out of the three major guys that got signed in that offseason or got contracts in that offseason, you had Mike Trout, you had Machado, and you had Bryce Harper. Who's left standing? And who's left standing and who had less money in the whole thing? Because it went Harper, it went Machado, then Harper, then Trout. Trout's like, I got to get more than Harper. I'm like, I got to get more than Harper. But and I am so impressed. Now let's get down to brass tacks, boys. The Philadelphia Phillies are in the World Series for the first time in 13 years. Yeah. And this, I could say it. 14 years. I could say this comfortably. Well, I'm sorry, no 13
you were right. You were
13, you were right.
You were
13.
Right. 09.
But this is what I want to get down to. Last night's game looked very, very troubling at first.
Oh.
And I gotta say, I want to get your reactions when the Phillies are down 5-0 and Nola doesn't seem to have the stuff. What is your initial gut reactions, Dave? I'll start with you first. You had a lot to say last night.
I did.
Before we go any further, Norm checks in.
Norm! What's up, Norm? How those Commanders doing, brother? Hey, your Commanders are winning some games, dude. Good for you.
How about Heineke?
Heineke, yeah.
I'll have one.
Joey, to go back to your point, 5-0. First of all, I did tell people, I said I didn't think Nola was going to go more than 5 innings. I just didn't, because his last outing wasn't that great. But the bats came around. They helped him. They pretty much saved him when they tied it at 5. He was out of the woods. To me, this Astros team is at their lineup 1 through 9 is really good. They're good. They won the West for a reason, right? You guys can say cheaters, whatever you want. I don't care about that. They beat the Yankees in 4. That's huge. I'm going to say this, and you guys can dog me, kill me, whatever you want to say. This series is not over by a long shot.
Us, dog, you,
Um,
Dave.
and-
Oh, hell no.
Really, us?
I know this series is far from over, and I'm going to tell you. But I'll tell you this much: if the Phillies come up 2-0, it's going to be tough for Hastings to come back and win 3 straight.
Yeah,
And
no,
especially in the bank. But if they tie the series up at 1 apiece, guys, we got a series.
I expect 6 games. I expect 6.
I said 6. Well, I said 6 or 7. I'm not sure about whatever.
We'll get-
Either one.
We'll get the predictions and breakdowns. In a
Right, I
minute.
get that. Right, I get that. But last night's game, 5-0.
What were you thinking?
With this team, it's never over. I keep telling myself, okay.
They point
You
to
can't
Yeah,
think
you
anything.
can't. You just can't
Can't
count.
think
I mean, it's the World Series, guys. I mean, it's what you expect. It's what you want to
Right.
see. You know, I
Right.
mean, people don't want to see shutouts. People don't want to see blowouts. This is what it's about. You know, I mean, your team hits my team. Your team hits my team hits. You know,
Right.
your team scores, my team scores.
I
you
heard
know?
a stat last night, and the way that you said it, Dave, is that this is the World Series. Like, you can come back and there's all these different opportunities. I heard a stat last night. No team has come back from 5-0 in a World Series since 2002.
Right.
And Dusty Baker was the manager then for the San Francisco Giants against the Anaheim Angels.
Well, didn't they win? Didn't they win that year? Didn't the Giants win that series?
No,
No, they did not. The Angels
they
won.
did not.
Angels won. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah, the game they came back from 5 runs down, it was the decider.
yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
it was
Gotcha.
I think game 6 or game 5 or something like that.
Yeah.
But
Oh.
that's the interesting thing is that those 5-run deficits in the World Series, as much as we want to say, well, it's the World Series, you're going to come back. They don't happen that often. I mean, 20
Well,
years.
you
since
saw the
last
one
time.
stat. Did you see the one stat? It was like 539-13 that happens.
Right.
I mean, it's just
Overall.
it's completely improbable.
Frank,
that
what
it would
did
happen.
you think?
One thing I wanted to say about Harper, Dame, to reflect on what you were saying, because then I dropped off. I remember the first game that the Phillies played against the Senators or the Nationals when Harper got there, and I watched this kid play, and I looked at my son and I went, "This guy's going to be a pain in our ass for the next 16 years. He's just going to be a pain in our ass for the next 16 years."
Little did we know.
And I'm like, okay, now he's everybody else's pain in the ass. So we get to enjoy it
for the next 10 years.
right.
And so, Frank, what did you think down
You
5-0?
lost.
What was
You
your?
lost him.
What was,
You lost Joey. We lost him. Joey, we lost him.
Dame,
I got him. So
Frank, we got you.
no, Frank.
right.
No, I said we lost Frank, but go ahead. Dave.
Dame, what did you think down 5-0?
So yeah, I'm like all kinds of thoughts. You want to go? He's back. You want to go to Frank?
Yeah, go to Frank.
right, Frank.
5-0, Frank. What was your thoughts?
You know what? I was really calm.
Mm.
I was not happy that Nola wasn't pitching right, but it wasn't so much that Nola was pitching right. He couldn't get his breaker to where he wanted, and I just saw it on the Astros. They were just sitting. They were sitting on his pitches, and he just didn't have the command he needed. And I thought, I don't know how much longer he's going to last. I don't know how long he's going to let him go. But I also saw that Verlander's pitches weren't. I mean, they were good in the first 2 innings, but he was having problems too because he started dropping down in the zone. And I'm like, they're going to get to him. They're going to get. And I was just calm. I was just like, let's just see what happens. Let's just see what happens. And I said to my son, I said, they got to get to him before the 6th inning, because after the 6th inning, that bullpen takes over. And, their bullpen came in and said, we're going to show you how it's done. But the Phillies came in last night. Their bullpen said, wait, hold my beer.
Yeah.
Dame, what were you?
I mean, they went pitch for pitch with that bullpen last night. It was incredible.
They did.
What were
it
you
was
thinking down 5-0? You got
So-
Aaron Nola, who's like one of your workhorse pitchers,
Yeah.
and he doesn't have his stuff. He's down 5-0 in the World Series. What were you thinking?
So a couple things. And I'm gonna pick it back off of what Frank said in a second. Joe. So I was back and forth. I was like, well, if they lose this one, we'll come back tomorrow. I was back and forth. The other thing that struck me, though, and the Phillies have been doing this all year, I'm sure you guys are aware of it, but they know how to wear down a pitcher. What I mean
they
is,
do.
So Verlander's Verlander. We know that, right?
Especially Stott.
Yeah, they were Stott.
10 pitch at
You know,
bat.
the
That was
guy
incredible.
you don't like, the guy you don't think deserves to be on this roster.
Hey,
They find a way to make a pitcher to get that starter out of there. Now, granted, they were down 5-0, but you had that little bit of feeling like at least they're going to get Verlander out of here and they can work on the bullpen. So I'm back and forth. I'm like, and then when they went up, when it was 5-3, I said, okay, this is going to turn around. And sure enough, when they tied it up, now I'm gonna tell you what I was afraid of. When it was 5-5, I said, oh boy, I just think about Seattle and Houston with those 18 innings. I was like, I can't take that.
Yes.
I said, I can't happen. And I kept thinking, and then because the Phillies couldn't remember that, dude, we were bases loaded, and Castellanos with 2 outs strikes out. And I'm like, damn, we can't bring anybody home.
Yeah, but then later on,
Hector Neris.
Hector
freaking
heart
Neris.
attack Hector.
Hector Neris.
If the game goes 18 innings, we're taking 10 more years off of Frank's life.
Yeah.
I ain't got him to give. I don't have, I'm going to be a 25-year-old man by the end of the week.
The show at the last out, at the 18 innings. Let's
Here's
start
the
the
thing,
show
Dave.
now. I mean, my God.
Castellanos went from 0 to hero in that game. Because he did that, but then he catches the ball, and if he doesn't catch that ball,
oh man,
But that was similar to the catch he had before a few weeks ago. It's kind of the same catch if you think about it.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
Dave,
good call.
even that catch a couple weeks ago, if he misses that ball, the game's not over. If
Oh,
he misses
no
that
doubt.
ball- He misses that ball last night, game's over.
yeah.
Oh,
That
no
ball
doubt.
touches grass, game's
And-
over. It's walk-off.
Yeah.
James, I'm going to get to you. What did you think at 5-0? What were your feelings at that moment?
At first, I think it was I don't know how to describe it. I think it was first of all, I think it was probably when Noah was not being the way he was, and I was saying, okay, it's not our day. But then the 5th inning came around, and it's like, wait a minute, like Verlander is starting to struggle a little bit. I'm thinking we might have a possibility of tying this game, and then they score 5 runs. I mean, they never got the chance to get him back on. The Castellanos strikeout was a little bit annoying too. But then the 10th inning came around. It was like, wait a minute, they could win this game.
And did anybody see the post-game interview with Dusty Baker?
No.
Okay.
No.
They asked him, why didn't you take Verlander out earlier?
Right.
And Baker looked at him. He said, he needed 1 out. He needed 1 out. And I mean, the guy's going to be a Cy Young winner. He needed 1 out.
Yeah.
And,
You stick with your guy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's how we criticized
But it was how
Girardi.
he said it. It was how he said it.
Yeah.
And you normally don't see Dusty Baker. You don't see his face or his persona
Yeah,
crack.
I'm a Dusty
he
fan
cracked.
too, man.
I am too.
That's
Dan.
my dude, man. Even when he was a player, I was a kid.
Dude, I loved him with the Dodgers.
I hated him. I hated him when he was with the Dodgers. I mean, I witnessed that team.
Dude, him and Guerrero.
Everybody
Him and Guerrero ran it, dude.
the Dodgers. I mean,
Him and Guerrero ran that
Guerrero.
Dodger team, dude. Him and Pedro. Oh my God.
I'm going to get into 2 things because number one, I want to get
And the
into my
toothpick.
feelings.
I love the toothpick, but go ahead.
Yes.
I want to get into 2 things. Number one, I want to get into my feelings when we were down 5-0.
Yes,
And then I need to have a little powwow with David.
Before you go there, Joey, I know where you're going with this. Real quick, do you guys miss Joe Buck? Because I do. I really do.
No,
I do.
I do.
awesome.
It's just not the same without Joe Buck calling a World Series, guys.
Davis is calling. I mean, his calls for the Phillies. Have
Oh,
been,
I'm not saying he's not doing a great job, and he is, but I'm just saying it's just not the same without Buck.
You know.
guys.
Can I say this? Can I say this about this guy? When he
I'm right there with you, Dave.
no, when he called the Harper home run, right?
it's immortal.
It reminded me
Swing
of
of
what
his
Al
life.
Michaels did not do when the Eagles won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
With Kevin Harlan, if you heard on the radio, of course I was listening to Ike Reese and Merle.
Merle Reese.
But if
Merle
you listen to Kevin Harlan's call in the Super Bowl, it was amazing. And so when I'm listening to Joe, and I'm like, wow, this is what Al Michaels is supposed to be like when the Eagles won the. No, dude, he's fantastic, man.
No, that's an immortal call. That call was an immortal call.
But going back to Buck, going back to Buck, okay, back in 08, And you guys know the call, the stairs call. Deep in the night. I'm telling you.
But it's
Yeah,
similar.
That Joe Buck call was incredible.
But
Well, I'll get into
the home
that.
run of his life. That's similar.
Swing of his life.
The swing of his
that
life.
matches that call.
So
deep in the night.
Here's the thing. So I'm gonna okay. 5-0. I'm gonna be real quick about this. 5-0. We're down, and I go. Nola's fastball is flat, like it's not movement. Usually his fastball has movement.
It was moving early on though.
Yeah, but you could tell he was starting to try to overthrow it.
Yeah.
Well, he had to because his breaking ball wasn't working.
Well,
Wasn't
yeah,
working.
the
Nope.
changeup wasn't working. But the other thing that he gets into his own head about is that once a pitch doesn't work, he goes back to what he knows with the fastball. But then sometimes he grips the baseball too tight, and it's like, dude, I kept saying, I was watching the game with a buddy of mine. I kept saying, I'm like, he's got to relax.
Right.
Stop overthrowing. He's got to relax. And he did eventually. I'm like, I literally said, okay, 5-0. And then he put down the side. He had an easy inning afterwards. I'm like, now you're going to lock in after you gone down 5-0? I'm like, come on. But my feeling down 5-0, similar to a lot of what you guys have said, bits and pieces of what you guys have said. Number one, I didn't think we were out of it because I go back to what Reese Hoskins said in the NLDS, which was this postseason's about moments, and we got a lot more to give, and that's different. Like that means that team knows that their moments are coming, and they're just gonna wait for them. The other thing is that I just needed a split from these two games. That's all I needed. So whether it was last night or tonight, I needed a split. That's it. So if we lost that one last night, I was like, okay, now that puts more pressure on us to win tonight. Okay. But now that didn't happen, and I'm glad it didn't happen, I want to get into Dave Yarnold.
What?
Comes on to the Fightins final in a comment board and basically is the wet blankets to the Philadelphia Phillies victory. Dave, I ask you, you sit there and watch baseball all the time. You're a part of a softball team. This sport is your life in some ways. That game, regardless if the Phillies are in it or not, meaning if the Phillies are in the World Series or it's two random other baseball teams, that was a great game. You can't deny that. And I think that's what Phillies fans right now are elated about, that was a great game. And so you can't deny that. Now, we're not saying, hey, let's go party on Broad. The parade's coming down. Like, we're not saying that yet. But we are now 3 wins instead of 4. We are 3 wins away from a world championship and that parade. We're allowed to get excited about that. I mean,
and that's great.
That is excitement personified right now. Those people that are like, hey, we're going to we're winning the World Series after one. No, listen, that was a 1-run game. Let's relax. Let's pump the brakes.
Dave, my comment was the Sixers took game 1 from the Lakers, but we know how that turned out. Could that be the same result? That's all I said.
Nah. The thing about that, well, here's what for me. So I said this to somebody yesterday at my job, and I was like, "Do you think we have a shot tonight?" He's like, "No, but I'm gonna still watch." I laughed. Going into this World Series, it's house money because no one expected the Phillies to be there, other than Frank, other than Frank,
he was the only one.
So I didn't. I didn't think. I didn't think they were going to lose, but for me, it was like they're here, and so I'm looking at it like this: it's something different about this team. I mean,
that's what I felt back then.
Yeah, that they have. You know, you got a few guys on there. You got Schwarber, who's won before. I forget who else is on the team that may have won, but the thing about it is they believe that they belong there. So if you believe that you belong there, no matter who you're facing, that's half the battle, right? They're not like, oh, we got to the World Series, we're just excited. They're like, nah, we're Reese's point, like this, so it's magic. So just watching all of the playoffs, and I didn't just watch the Phillies, I watched the other games as well.
Yeah.
Yes, playoff baseball is really something special,
It's
man.
tense. It's
Dave,
tense. It's different. It's a different
All
animal.
that.
To
Yeah.
hit on what you were saying in your comment, and I didn't get a chance to say this at the time.
What was the comment? I didn't see the comment.
I said the Sixers won Game 1 against the Lakers
in 2001?
in 2001. I said, but we
Look
know
how
how
that-
that turned. I said we know how that turned out. That's all.
And it makes sense.
Phillies
that he
won
compares-
Game 1 against the Orioles in '83, and look
Right.
how that turned out.
And Frank, you know what? I'm going to go there because I said the other day, I literally said the series is going to be like the Baltimore series in '83.
But
This
I
team
could be
ain't
wrong.
like the '83 Phillies. This
No.
I'm
team ain't
thinking
like the
Dave's
'83
comparing it to the
Phillies.
fact that the Lakers were undefeated in the playoffs, as well as the Houston
Correct.
Astros were undefeated. But it's just two. I just think it's two different.
Here's
Yeah.
where I go. This is where I go differently. Is the sense that look at if we're going to compare the 2001 Sixers and the 2022 Phillies. Here's the difference. AI was a one-man wrecking crew,
Yeah.
Right.
and he went up against two Goliaths in Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant.
Mm.
Now, the Astros are a wrecking crew,
Mhm.
but this Philadelphia Phillies team, there's not one man.
No.
There's not one man.
No, it's spread out.
I keep going back to this quote, and I know it's going to become cliche by the end of next week. It's the whole fucking team. That's
Yeah.
all it is. It's the whole
Yep.
team. They're all pulling together. And when you walk together forever. That's the difference. And you know, I am just a firm believer that you know this is not like that in any way. And understand, the Astros never won a game 1 in the World Series. Have never won it. They've been in the World Series 4 out of the last 6 years. They've never won in their franchise history, never won game 1 in the World Series. So they didn't say that until later. I wish they would have told me that in the pregame. But would have saved me a lot of heartache. But
At 5-0, it sure looked like they were going to win their first.
Al, come on, dude. I hear you.
Yeah.
What did
Now,
Al
look,
say?
Dave. I look at you when you comment. You try to keep both feet on the ground. You really do. And that's fine. You know where Joe is a dreamer, man. He's a dream weaver. He loves. He dives head first. Joe, I love you. You dive head first into your fandom, and you just believe wholeheartedly and with every fiber of your being that what's going to happen is going to happen. You know, and that's why Dave works with us so well, because Dave's a grounding agent. You know, I mean, Dave makes us take a pause once in a while. You know,
I agree.
But
you need that. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead. You need that, yeah.
No, you need that. It's equilibrium. It keeps us from sounding like homers. You know,
I'm going to go into what Dave was saying, because I'm kind of in disagreement with the Joe Buck thing. Because here's the reason why I don't like Joe Buck. Similar to Chris Collinsworth.
no,
guy
he's not
is-
similar to Collingsworth.
No, he is, because here's the thing: is you're a national commentator. You're not supposed to have or show or convey any bias towards any team. And Joe Buck on national television several times had shown a lot of bias against the Philadelphia sports scene, whether it was through football or baseball.
I'm going to say you're wrong.
I think Joe Buck does his job.
I'm
great.
going to say you're wrong, and you know what? It's because of the way you feel about Philadelphia teams that makes it. Now let me finish. It's because of the way you feel wholeheartedly about Philadelphia teams that you may not think this on a conscious level, but on a subconscious level, you think there's no way our teams are ever going to lose and they're the greatest thing going, and that's fine. But Joe Buck has to cut it down the middle. I mean, Joe Buck is an excellent broadcaster. And when Joe Buck does a game, I try not to listen as a heartfelt Philadelphia fan. I try, because he says things about both teams. We just don't hear it. It's selective hearing.
No, I'm going to disagree here, because I'm not going to sit here and be. Look, I wear my fandom outwardly. I do.
Absolutely.
But I am objective too. And for me, it's not always this way and the Philly way or anything. I'm the one that basically was like, look, we're gonna make it to the NLCS and we're gonna flame out. That is not like we're gonna go to the World Series and we're gonna win it all the way. I'm objective and realistic. The way that I've heard Joe Buck with some of his commentary, there have been games in the World Series in '08 where he said, and I quote, the Philadelphia Phillies are always going to be in an uphill battle. This is going to be no different. And I said, wait a minute. The Rays are considered the underdog because they weren't supposed to be there. And so how can you say that objectively? And I'm like, he has no stats to back that statement up. So there's a difference when you're a national commentator. And I go back to some of the great ones like John Madden and guys like Howard Cosell and whatnot. These guys would say statements, and if it sounded biased, they could back it up with facts. And Joe Buck doesn't do that all the time.
I'll say this about Joe Buck. I'm grown. I've grown to like Joe Buck. Actually, I think he and Aikman are made for Monday Night Football. That was solid.
Yeah, like they're a great team on Monday night.
They're a great team.
They're perfect for Monday Night Football. I had a bias against Joe Buck. One was because I knew his father was in the business. I felt like he got, what do they call it? What word am I looking for? Where am I? You know somebody. I can't get the word out.
Yeah, not what you know, who you know. We get it.
Yeah. But
nepotism. You're thinking about nepotism.
Nepotism.
Right.
So that was my one bias. I used to think he was kind of smug, like this rich dude who's talking sports. But and I get that, Joe. I did at times think he was kind of biased towards the Eagles because a lot of it, he covered the Eagles games. But over the years, I think he's gotten. First of all, he's great at what he does. I gotta admit that he's great at what he does.
He's a polished guy. He's very polished.
And I don't hear that side of him anymore. And it could have been me, right?
Yeah.
So and I think the uphill thing, and I kind of remember that. It could be a thing of him not knowing the Phillies. I don't know what was his reason behind that. But when people say he's obviously against Philly, I would say Chris Collinsworth is more against Philly than Joe Buck.
Joe Buck
see, now I don't think Collinsworth is against Philly. What I think Collinsworth is, what I think about Collinsworth is, Collinsworth is a kiss ass. Collinsworth says things on national television that gets him the interviews when the game's over or in the pregame. Collinsworth is just
like to call that
he's just a complete sellout kiss ass.
Wait, guys, I gotta cut out. I will see you guys later. Enjoy game 2.
I'll give you your Eagles prediction real quick. Eagles prediction.
Eagles prediction for 27-17 Eagles. I don't know.
Okay.
There you go. All right. Because I don't see the Steelers winning this game. Guys, real quick, enjoy game 2. I'll see you guys, catch you guys on the flip side, and have a great show out there rest of the day.
All right, Dave.
Right. And Joey, for you, go Phils. Talk to you later.
Come on, that's you. You love the Phils too, Dave.
I do. I just
let yourself go a little bit, brother. Let go. Be free.
I'm trying. All right, guys. I got to roll. I'll talk to you. All right, bye.
The investigation's still ongoing that whether or not Dave Yarno has Mets colors underneath the Phillies colors. But anyhow, I will say to you, Frank, I don't disagree with the Collinsworth comment. I don't but we call it in this industry a media whore. Is that he wants to whore himself out to make
only he's pockets. A $2 media whore.
Oh yeah, well I didn't say he was an expensive whore. I just said he was. But
he ain't one of them high end ones at the 5-star restaurant bar.
But Joe Buck
he's a Broad and Race, or
I'm not saying that Joe Buck.
He's on Broad and Gerard. Not that
that's right. Oh wow.
Okay.
Pipe in his hand.
Gone. Bye. So Buck was, in my mind, I'm not saying Buck's not a good commentator. I'm just not. I don't prefer.
You don't like his style.
No, I don't. And I like the guy. I like the guy that's doing it now with Smoltz and everything.
Tirico.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smoltz. I mean, Joe Davis.
Joe Davis.
Like, look.
Did you hear
he's
Smoltz last night though?
Yeah.
Smoltz had a Joe Buck moment in your opinion. He said, I really. He says, I see no way the Phillies can win this series.
Yeah, I heard it, and I stuck up for
fair.
Smoltz, and he did
He
that.
did say that.
Hey,
He did.
That's okay.
I stuck up for Smoltz, and I said, "Look, he's good commentator." And then he says that nonsense, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm done."
I'll tell you what, Smoltz has given great color for these.
Nice.
Better than A-Rod, that's for sure.
To put you inside the head of hitters and pitchers, the way he's been doing it, it's been really
it's really good.
Really good stuff.
And
I don't think he's been biased. I mean, particularly with I don't think
he's biased. He just that was his opinion.
That's his opinion. He's entitled because even when
you look at the two teams, the Phillies should not be able to compete with this team. When you look on paper, it's like it shouldn't happen. And I mean everybody else sees the same thing, but they didn't experience what we experienced. You know,
all right, boys, we're gonna break down and give predictions. Game 2 tonight, Houston. Frank, what is your prediction? What is your breakdown? What is going to happen tonight with the Phillies and the Astros?
This is going to be difficult. Wheeler needs to go 7, and he's got to finish 7. If Wheeler doesn't finish 7, Phillies are going to lose this game.
Okay. What do you think so do you think the Phillies win? Do you think the Phillies lose?
If Wheeler goes 7, they'll win.
Okay. Dame, what do you think? Predictions and breakdown. What do you think for game 2 tonight?
Who's pitching for the Astros?
Valdez.
Valdez is pitching. He's a lefty, right?
Very good pitcher. Very good pitcher.
Valdez is lefty, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
going
to
keep them off balance.
Yeah, so two things. I'm with Frank that Wheeler has to go 7. What cannot happen, Joe, they can't keep swinging at those high fastballs. So me as a fan, when I'm watching baseball and the pitcher has a guy at a 2-2, I'm always calling for the high fastball pitch to get him out. That's my favorite get him out pitch.
Well, it looks so juicy coming up, man. I mean, it just does.
Yeah, but we were swinging at too many of them last night, which got us.
It looks too good to lay off, Dame. I'm telling you.
Verlander was living up there.
That's where he lives. That's where he lives.
He even went even higher to one of those rooftop apartments or buildings in Philly. So I'm saying we have to be patient at that plate, and then if we can get him to 7 and a little bit of patience, we have a shot. It's gonna be tough though, man.
Dave, did you ever play hardball in any organized level?
So I tried out. I could have made the team. I missed it because I had to go to my acting class, and my mom was like, "You're not going to miss another acting lesson." So no, I never played hardball. I played baseball on the street. So,
Yeah, no, I played early in high school until I screwed my grades up, and my dad pulled me off the team. I was I deserved to be pulled off. I was a catcher.
I can see that. I can see you being a catcher.
And I'm telling you, when you're at the plate, and you got a guy who throws a high fastball, it's really hard not to swing at it.
No, and I agree.
It looks so good coming in. You're like, man, this is coming right by, and next thing you know, you're 2 inches under the ball.
So I know like that high fastball, but I know also for a pitcher, it's a get out pitch if you can get it over there.
Well,
so
I'll also set it up this way. Verlander set it up masterfully by having a 70 because he sets it up masterfully with that 79-mile-an-hour curve, and so your eye level changes down with that curve because it's a true 12-6 curveball. And then when he throws the high heat, that when you're seeing 79 and it's got like filthy movement, when you're seeing 96, 97, 98 up high, it looks like impossible. Right. It doesn't even look possible to hit.
His splits on his pitching, Joe, this entire season, 51% fastballs. He throws mostly fastballs.
Last night that was higher. I can tell you that right now. That was higher.
because
higher. And inside, he got Segura on some inside stuff too.
Yeah. But so Dan, do you think the Phillies win tonight?
No.
Okay. James Scorza, predictions and breakdowns. What do you think happens tonight with the Phillies and Astros?
I guess I could say the one thing that I could take out of game one is that they have to have the same effect that they had in that game one matchup. So if Weaver goes tonight, it could be a good outing for him. Got to give him a lot of run support, and also got to give him a lot of.
He's not going to get it tonight. Not with that guy on the mound.
No,
it's going to be a close game.
Yeah.
Do you think the Phillies win tonight, James?
Well, if Weir's on the mound, it's a possibility that they can win it. But I mean, as the homer I am, I gotta say, yeah, they gotta win tonight.
Well, you know who has to win this game tonight? Bottom of the lineup.
Yeah.
Yep.
The bottom of the lineup has to win this game tonight.
Here's where I land on this. So they have had this matchup with the pitching matchup locked in for the last couple of days, So my feeling was when I saw this matchup, I'm like, this is going to be a pitching duel. But yet last night should have been a pitching duel. I mean, 6-5 is not a pitching duel. I don't care what you want to say. It's not. Right. But tonight, I expect a lot more calculated pitches. And I think this could be a 3-2 game. I still think it's going to be a one-run game.
I see it. That's what I see.
And I think it could land in the Phillies' favor, but I'm with Frank. I don't think it comes from the big boys. I think it comes from guys like Bryson Stott and Alec Baum and Gene Segura and maybe even a Marsh. Like I think, you get a couple contributing hits from the big boys, but I don't think they're the ones that put you over.
I'm going to tell you, we're going to be sitting the end of 4 innings. It's going to be nothing.
I think it's going to be I think it's going to be 5 innings.
Pitchers are dominance pitchers.
I think it's going to be 5-0-0, and that's going to scare me because for me, the deeper it goes into a game and it's scoreless, the deeper it makes me worried that, like, when can you ignite that hit? Because once you get started, it's a roll fest, and both these teams have proven in game one last night they score in clumps, they score in streaks.
The problem with that is Houston's bullpen is no joke. It is no joke.
Well, I agree with you, but you can't say the Phillies is a joke because they matched bone for bone with Houston's bullpen last night, which
shot a lot of bullets last night. The Phillies bullpen shot a lot of bullets last night.
Yeah, I could tell you this. Out of all of the people on this crew, who would have said in the beginning of the season that the Phillies bullpen would have been as good as they have been?
Nobody.
Well,
that was a point of emphasis, though. That was a point of emphasis to correct that bullpen. But the other thing that has got me thinking. So I said I don't, they may not win tonight, but if they can find a way to knock him out of there like they did, wear him down, that's what the Phillies do, man. They're capable of wearing a pitcher down no matter who it is, and be it Nolan Ryan or Verlander. They have that ability, and they've been consistent with that all year to get that pitcher pitch count up and to get him out of here between the 6th and 7th inning, somewhere in that ballpark, and putting them.
Hey, James, question.
Yeah.
Do we have any sports trips lined up?
Yes, we do. Philly Sports Trips is a proud sponsor of EOP, and also, I mean, this trip is a little bit expired, but also if you're going down to Houston for a couple games to see the Eagles play on Thursday night, or maybe a road trip to Game 5 if necessary. Game 6. Thank you. Includes lower level bus, food, drink, and entertainment for $325. Visit phillysportstrips.com and purchase your tickets for maybe this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
And how about if we can't get out on a sports trip, where could we go to enjoy a game?
Yeah, I think there's I think you can just check out
Dolan's Bar.
There it is. I think
most Delco bar in Delco. Dolan's Bar.
There you go.
I have a few coworkers that's going to the World Series. A few of them were at the game Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, my coworker.
That's awesome.
She said she spent $18 for about 4 tickets. I said that's not a bad deal. She wanted to take her son. She wanted her son to have an experience. So
last night at Dolan's, you had Tommy Green there
Right.
watching.
Oh yeah, Tommy Green.
And tonight, if you go to Dolan's tonight to watch game 2, you will meet
Lenny
Nail.
Dykstra. Lenny Dykstra.
And
Oh,
and
man.
everything interesting.
I kind
comes
of
out of-
quiver. I kind of quiver at the thought of Lenny Dykstra at Dolan.
Leave your wallet at home, please.
Listen.
Yeah, exactly.
I have
Leave
met
the water
Lanny.
at home.
I have met Lanny
So have I.
at Dolan's. At Dolan's, we had a conversation. I'm not sure if he would remember it, but you know.
I met Dykstra at the racetrack.
And if we
True story.
get to a game 6,
Yeah, I bet.
if we get to a game 6 at Dolan's, if necessary, Mickey Morandini will be at Dolan's game
Yeah,
6.
Mick.
That's
But
awesome.
getting back, so guys, before to put a bow on this Phillies talk, we may not. By the time this time next week, we may be World Series champions.
Yep.
We may. Now, my question to you guys: give me the predictions. Frank, what do you see this series? What is your prediction?
If the Phillies win tonight, doesn't go back to Houston. They'll win in Game 5.
Okay, Damon.
If the Phillies split,
If not, they
which
win in 6.
Yeah, as I anticipate them doing, I believe they come back here and finish them.
Yep.
They can have a chance to finish them.
James, what do you think?
I say, like what Frank said, if they win tonight, this series is probably good as over. So I say Phillies win in 5.
Can't say it's as good as over because Houston went on the road and won 3 straight. So
Yeah,
but
Right.
Well,
they haven't experienced anything like Philadelphia. They haven't experienced anything like Philly.
I've said this on many occasions, and I'm going to continue to say it. Philly fans are just different. And
Imagine this, guys. Imagine this. We get to Friday, right? If the Phillies win, the Phillies will be World Series champions, and the Eagles will be 8-0
Yeah.
by Friday morning.
Yep.
Just
Think
let
about
that soak in. Just let that soak in.
Just
let that marinate.
Drink
Let
that.
that marinate.
Just drink that in. Just
Absorb
it.
Yeah, and understand something. That my feeling about this series has always been, even from the beginning, Phillies in 5 or 6. And 5 or 6 meant I don't know what they're going to do in Houston the first 2 games. If they do win tonight, I could comfortably see 5. I could comfortably see us not going back to Houston. Right. If they lose tonight, I think it's going to go to 6, and I think the Phillies win in 6, and I think you're going to have some birds in Houston.
That would be crazy. That would be absolutely insane.
I have already heard from good sources that Mr. Kelsey, Mr. Lane Johnson, Mr. Mailata, Mr. Hertz have already purchased
tickets for Game 6.
Yes. So
I expect to see them at some of the games this week.
Yes. And Brandon said he's going to be at Monday's game. At Monday's game. So
let me ask you something. Me and my dad brought this up last night. I don't know about you guys, but those Astros fans didn't look like they were like not even interested.
They went silent after the 7th inning. They went silent.
No, there was just one picture. There was just one shot of them because they were cheering in the beginning when they go 5-0. But when the Phillies made their comeback, man, there was some sad faces, man. They were some
stunned and humble.
Some towels draped over the faces. They kept showing that in the crowd. I'm like, why are you covering your face, man? Witness this.
They didn't get it.
Listen. I've said this before, that this is going to be a situation where, and Smoltz said this, and I think it's very correct, is that other opposing teams come into this city because there hasn't been playoff baseball in 11 years.
Right.
Teams come into this city and they don't know what the hell to expect. They are like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
This is Philly. This is what it is in its purest
Think about
fashion.
this. Joe, think about this. Say the Phillies win today, Okay, they're 2-0. What's going to happen at the Link tomorrow or Sunday? What's going to happen? That team, that stadium is going to be on fire for lots of reasons. The fact that the Eagles are undefeated and their baseball team is on the brink of a championship. That crowd, I wouldn't want to be the Steelers tomorrow. I would not want to be the Steelers tomorrow.
On
Sunday,
Sunday, a neighbor
yeah.
walked up to me, and I'm holding Peyton, and he gives Peyton a high five, and he goes, "What do you think would happen to this city and this area, because in South Philly, if the Phillies won a World Series and in the same season the Eagles win a Super Bowl?" I said, I don't even know. I don't even know if the city knows what they'll do with themselves.
Oh,
They'll be like, what? What happened?
I think they will comport themselves as Philadelphians do and just blow the roof off the state.
Nope.
Yep.
So to transition to that football team in Philadelphia, your Philadelphia Eagles, undefeated 6-0, best team in the NFL. They face off against the Pittsburgh Steelers tomorrow at the Link. Guys, this does not seem like with Kenny Pickett, it doesn't seem like this is going to be a very big competition. However, I feel like it's going to be more competitive than people might give credit for.
Really?
What do you guys think? James, I'll start with you. What's your feeling about Steelers Eagles tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not entirely sure it's going to be that close. I think Pickett hasn't shown me anything that's like, oh, I got to keep an eye on him. I mean, obviously he's a rookie, and I know he's going through his slumps, but he just looks lost out there, man.
He's ranked 29th in the league, boys.
Yeah,
he's ranked 29th in the league, and the guy we're playing Thursday is ranked 30th.
Yeah, rightfully so, and that's
it's not a good recipe with this defense. It's not a good recipe with this defensive backfield right now.
No, that's what I worry about.
And the fact that we picked up Quinn this week, just
we'll get into that. That's a huge.
Have you heard the details of this deal?
Vaguely, yeah.
Okay.
4th round. Where'd he come from?
He came from Chicago.
Chicago is paying for his salary.
Yes.
So
did you hear the end of it though? If the Eagles let him go at the end of the year, they get a compensatory 4th round pick back. He's a free player for them. He's a free player for the Eagles.
Wow.
They got him for nothing.
Okay, so let me even tap into this even more, because now that I know that detail, that adds a little bit more to the fervor. You understand, this guy is one of 7 active players, that has over 100 sacks in the league. Which you have to 102 career sacks. That kind of means in a defensive lineman kind of status, you're going to the Hall of Fame. Like you are. Because like once you hit a certain stat level, you can't ignore it. Like that's
there was a story that Joe. There was a story that came out of Chicago that everybody on the team, Quinn's the leader. Quinn is the guy that leads that team, and there were quotes coming from players on that team where like, "There's no way they're not going to trade Quinn. They can't trade Quinn." And I forget who the defensive player was that was being interviewed at the time. The writer said they can't trade Quinn. And like within 10 seconds, he got the notification that Quinn was traded. And the writer said the player just walked away in disgust. He couldn't believe that the Bears had traded away their leader. And we just got another leader on this defense? Are you kidding? I mean, and we got him for free.
Yeah, and that is
free.
Yeah,
free.
Yeah. and so I'm gonna put more, because this is like icing on the cake. Like Frank, you just put whipped cream on my sundae.
There you go. Have a cherry.
Yeah. We'll leave that for Pat Bernard. But like this is the thing is Howie This is why I've fallen on my sword.
You didn't say the H word, did you?
I did.
Speaking of
but
Pat, he says, "What's going on, fellas?"
What's going on, Pat?
Pat, how you doing?
But Howie, I get it. I've fallen on my sword. Listen, in Howie I trust, and I never thought I'd say those words. In Howie I trust, and this is why, because this team, regardless of what they do, it's like the Phillies. Regardless of what they do this year, they're still going to improve next year because they have space and latitude to do so. I said to my buddy last night, I said, understand something. The Phillies and Dabrowski, their game plan for this year was just to get into the playoffs.
Right.
That was that box checked, objective for the season checked. That's it. We're good. We can go home now. Now, the players are like, well, we don't want to.
Yeah.
But this is
Bryce
the thing.
said we ain't losing.
Right. I mean, here's the thing. My feeling is this. Between the Eagles and the Phillies, you're looking at two franchises right now that are on the best leveraging situation of their organizational lives.
Yes.
And it's, Philly fans are going to enjoy this because between Dabrowski and Howie Roseman, you have two geniuses in the city. Because they know how to steal from other GMs and make garbage into gold, to take a quote from Mark Zumoff. Because understand something, Marsh was a throwaway for the Angels. He was a throwaway. And he's producing. Like, this is a guy who batted .230 coming in, and the Angels said he can't hit. We can't fix him. Kevin Long, God bless him. I don't want you to go anywhere, but Kevin Long's like, I can fix him. And Dabrowski's like, are you sure? Yeah, I can fix him. Okay. He's batted .280 since he's arrived in Philly.
Yeah, he's a different player. Different player.
And so so to get back to your thing about Quinn, Frank, the fact that he's a free player.
Yes.
How is just sitting back going, well, I mean, who doesn't like free?
Yeah.
Who doesn't like free?
Can't beat free with a club.
I'm getting a free Hall of Famer.
Yes.
A free potential future Hall of Famer. And understand something. His role with the Eagles, he's not going to need to play as much as he did in Chicago.
No, he's going to be a rotational pass rusher, and he's really good at it.
Right. They're going to look at him and go, "You do you. We're good. You're good." But so, Frank, what do you see is going to happen tomorrow with Steelers and the Eagles?
This game shouldn't be close. If the Steelers win this game, it won't be because the Steelers won the game. It'll be because the Eagles gave it to them. And I don't see that happening because I don't see them having enough offense to stay with the Eagles. I think the Eagles win this game, and I think it's a blowout. I think it's a blowout, and especially considering where the state of mind of the fans is going to be when they walk in that stadium. I mean, I've been in the link for lots of games, and I've seen lots of excitement and heard lots of noise. But I mean, the Phillies have just amped this city up, and the Eagles being undefeated, Pittsburgh's walking into a maelstrom tomorrow. They just really are. Any of you guys going to FanFest today?
No.
No, I probably won't. I went a couple years ago. I'm cool. I did it.
Yeah, I'm going down.
It's gonna be exciting. You should if you can get. I got stuff to do, but it's exciting.
Yeah,
Damon,
I have an extra ticket if anybody's interested.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, look at that.
I might change my mind.
You can meet me there, Dame. That'd be cool.
Yeah. I see what's up. Joe, Ed, the game tomorrow. It's kind of crazy, man. Let me to answer your question. So last week, like, fate would have it that the Eagles were off, so we got to enjoy the Phillies going to the World Series, right?
Yep.
This Sunday, the Phillies are off again, and we get to enjoy the Eagles now. And it's been like, damn, who did the Eagles play last?
Dallas,
right?
They played
Arizona.
We don't even remember that.
We
don't even remember that.
And it was a Sunday night game and they won, right? And I predicted that victory, by the way. I called out the Cowboy Philly fans because they were one of my friends who's from Philly. He lives in Atlanta, but he's a Cowboy fan. Started picking with me, and I'm like, he calls me the Sunday before the game. He calls me. I'm like, I know what this is about. So I say, look, man, you're gonna get your butt and get your ass whipped. Oh, you sound a little angry. No, I'm not. You started picking with me. Now I'm going to come at you. I don't bother y'all. Y'all wake me up. Now I'm up.
Right.
So for Pittsburgh and with Quinn, for me right now, the Eagles just have to continue to build and beat the team that they're supposed to win. I know this is going to sound crazy. I don't want us to go undefeated in the regular season because I always think that you lose in the playoffs. So you got to get you a loss in there. Just not tomorrow. Just not. You know, they might take a loss in Dallas Christmas Eve when it doesn't matter.
They're not going to
when it's all locked up.
When it's all locked up, right, James? Yeah. So, no, I agree with you, Frank. They're not going to lose at Pittsburgh tomorrow. No. He's going to have them ready. The thing about Sirianni, he's aware. He knows what's going on. He knows what's going on with the city right now.
You know what the Phillies did for that team? You know what the Phillies did for that team?
What's that?
Took all the pressure off the Eagles. They don't even have to think about it.
Yeah.
They have nothing to think about. Let's just go and play. Look what this team. Hey, guys, let's do that.
Dallas week got buried because of the Phillies.
It really did.
When does that happen?
Week was like a second, third thought.
What universe does that happen in?
It got buried.
So,
yeah, I think I'm looking at 35-12.
Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a pick six tomorrow. There's definitely going to be a pick six. I think Slade's going to get one.
My feeling's a little different, as it normally is. I feel like it's going to be a closer game. I still feel like the Eagles are going to pull it off, but I feel like it's going to be a closer game than people think. And this is why. I feel like the receiving core, especially Claypool, in the slot against Maddox, he's going to feast. And I think if Pickett is aware of that enough, and you got Najee Harris, who's a beast, you're gonna have and Pittsburgh's defense and Tomlin, they always come to play against the Eagles.
Always.
That's always a dogfight.
True.
And I mean, it doesn't matter what era you're talking about. It's always a dogfight.
They play hard. No, they do.
And so for me, it's if Pickett doesn't make more, if he makes minimum mistakes, like if he's just a game manager. I feel like this is going to be a closer game than what most Eagles fans would want. I feel like the Eagles pull off 27-23.
All right, let me go back.
I can see Tomlin doing that. I can see Tomlin saying, "Hey, let's put an L in their column."
No, they're going to come and fight.
They got nothing to lose.
Here's what I will say. This is Gannon. This is you again. You have Quinn now. Whatever you do, every 3 plays, bring it.
Yep.
That kid should feel the pressure of he should
he should be blitzing him. He should be blitzing him a lot.
Frank,
he should feel an onion of a cheesesteak underneath his nose. Like that's how much pressure he should be under. Like there's no reason because I watched Pickett. He's going to be a good quarterback actually.
Yeah, he is.
James, I will tell you this: like if this defense tomorrow does not get any sacks, I'm going to flip. I'm going to flip out.
I'm flipping.
I know how,
I'm going to flip out because me and Jonathan Gannon need to have a go. Like, we need to have a come to Jesus moment.
I got to
say this defense. I need damn sacks. I need blood in the water.
You know what I need to see more than that, Joe? You know what I need to see more than that? You know what I need to see more than sacks?
What?
I need to see the Eagles offense come out at the third quarter and just run the ball like they do in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And just take the heart right out of the Steelers. Don't try and get cute, Come out and just go, you know what? We're going to run 8 minutes off this clock, right on the first possession.
We're just going to
steal their heart. That's what bugged me about the last game the Eagles played is they came out and they tried to get cute. They're throwing first down. They're throwing second down. Now they're screwed. They got to go throw third down. I'm like, they're too cute here. We're too cute.
We're going to
just bash them.
We're going to go into the idea, and I'm glad you brought that up, Frank, because this is kind of like a big topic right now. And again, because of the Phillies' success, it's kind of getting buried. The NFL trade deadline is Tuesday.
Right.
Do you think Howie's got any more cards on the table that he wants to play? Frank,
do.
I'll start with you. What do you think?
I
Does
think-
Howie got anything else in the deck?
Oh, there isn't a deck made that Howie doesn't have cards on. I mean, do I think something could happen? Yeah. Do I think they could pick up a running back? Yeah, I think they could. Would it bother me if they didn't? No, because I think the Eagles are a pretty complete team right now.
James, what do you think?
I'm
Maybe
not
safety help.
Maybe safety help is probably the best option. I mean, they don't need anything big in particular. But if you could get, I mean, Howie would. I mean, you never know. I mean, he could like hit the jackpot again and just say, "Whoa!" Like a J.J. for example, like that just came out of nowhere, came out of left field. So, I mean, I trust Howie to see what he has in store.
Yeah.
Damon, what do you think? Tuesday,
I
does
think
Howie
there's
make a
another-
move?
Yeah, I think there's no. And earlier on in the week, I heard Alva Kamara, but that's not happening. But then the other day, he said it's not going to happen, and I'm like looking at it, going, because if you bring him in, then that messes with. Well, yeah, that messes with Sanders. But I would like another back. I want a bruiser. I want somebody
a
like
little bigger.
like a Hunt type back that's out there, and he's good. He's good at finding those guys off someone's practice squad or whatever the case may be.
Hang on a second, guys. We got someone chiming in.
Hey,
TK.
There
What's
we
up,
go.
TK?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
we got
Yes,
you,
man. I was asking for you.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
I miss you, brother.
What's
I
up,
was asking for
fuckers?
you.
That's crazy. Crazy
Tom,
stuff.
you came in at the right time. Tom, what's your breakdown for Sunday's game? Eagles Steelers.
Sunday prediction?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Addiction. Pain.
Pain.
I love that line.
They're
I
going to
love
smack
setting
the
him up.
living daylights out of the Steelers.
Okay.
They're gonna crush it. It's gonna be like 35-17. It's not even gonna be a game. It'll be
And you know
over.
what?
It'll be over by the Yingling halftime show out there. Or well, whatever you want to call it.
Tom, do you think now? You and I both know this gentleman very well. The guy that's really igniting the Pittsburgh Steelers offense is Claypool, the receiver from ND.
Yes.
Do you feel like now? Look, we both know he can be.
Now what? So he's gonna be what? He'll be what? Covered by Maddox in the slot, I would assume.
Correct.
He said that. He just said that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean,
you might leave a spy out for him.
Yeah.
Like a little help over the top.
C.J. Gardner Johnson kind of thing.
CJGJ.
So, yeah. So, Tom, I'll throw it to you. Tuesday's the trade deadline for the NFL. You see Howie making any more moves?
Kamara, let's go.
Yeah, they got shut down. TK. I was just
ain't gonna happen.
when he
Yeah,
came
no.
on. And
That sucks.
Yeah.
Look,
Well,
He would have been that Jay Ajayi piece from 2017.
Yeah, but then he takes away from Sanders, who's balling.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Sanders can't stay
But-
healthy, and that's the problem.
Knock on wood. No,
Sanders is a broken nail, nail away from being on the bench the rest of the season.
Knock on wood, he's been healthy. Come on, guys.
Listen,
He's been healthy.
I agree with you, Dame.
I
He's
am
playing
of the
for a
opinion.
contract.
I'm of the opinion with Kamara. I know I always say it doesn't always matter what happens off the field or off the court or off the ice, but he's a knucklehead, and I
Yes,
just can't
he
deal.
is.
And I just can't deal with a knucklehead.
Well, you know what? I think that
I don't need.
locker room
I don't
can
need
deal
an
with a
altar
knucklehead.
boy. I don't need an altar boy. I just don't need that.
I don't have any fear about a knucklehead playing on this team because that locker room knows how to control people.
All right.
There's too many leaders on this
Chelsea,
team
Graham,
that they wouldn't tolerate it. They wouldn't
They
tolerate it
wouldn't
at
have
all.
that, man.
You just
No.
remember they said the same thing when T.O. was here, and there was a lot of leaders too, and that didn't always work out for us.
Well, T.O. was
Joe,
psychopath.
T.O. is a different level of psychopath.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
another-
I understand that. I mean, that is like
Yeah.
oranges and grapefruits.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
But
All right,
oranges
boys. Yo, I
and-
just wanted to
oranges and
jump in
baked
and say,
potatoes.
guys, I love you. Go Bills, go Birds.
All right,
Tom,
TK.
You know it, man.
Texans prediction. Texans Eagles prediction Thursday night football.
He had to drop off.
He's out.
He had to
All right.
drop off.
So we're going to jump into the Eagles-Texans Thursday. We actually have 2 Eagles games to talk about on this show, and that is insane.
Yep.
World Series, 2 Eagles games. I mean, we're going to die by Sunday. We're going to die by next Sunday. That's. I'm just going to go on record. We're going to be dead by Sunday. We're talking dusk till dawn kind of stuff going out.
Yeah,
here.
really.
So, Frank, I'll start with you. Houston, Texans, and the Eagles. Short week.
Right. It doesn't
What
matter.
do you think? I mean,
It
is this a
doesn't
trap
matter.
game?
The Eagle. I'm going to tell you.
It is.
Under Sirianni's guidance, the Eagles feast on inferior quarterbacks. They just do. You know, the only teams that really beat them are teams with good quarterbacks. And you're playing 29-30 this week. The Eagles are going to feast this week. They're going to get to Friday, and that team's going to be 8-0, and the Phillies are going to be World Series champions. It's next weekend. Next weekend, there'll be people laying on Broad Street comatose.
The players will have to go by. Hey, how you doing? Like making nudging people.
There'll be medics like giving oxygen to people on the ground. You know, that's what's going to happen. Grease the poles, baby. Grease the poles.
Here's why I think this may be a trap game. Because we're coming off a bye week. We play tomorrow, and then we go back to play on Thursday.
Yeah.
I'm just concerned about the body and the rhythm. That's it.
I understand. I understand your concerns, Damon, but that team stinks.
No, I know.
That team stinks.
I know.
And I'm telling you, the Eagles defensive backs are feasting on bad quarterbacks, and these two quarterbacks are bad. They're really bad.
It's the luck of the draw. Like, I'm knocked out of my football pool already. I'm pissed off.
Yeah. Oh, damn.
Dude,
I went out week 1. What are you talking about?
Dude, I got the weeks. I don't mean my brother's out. It's like the pot's almost $7,000. It's like, it's like maybe.
Yo, you got to turn me on to that next year, bro.
I will. I definitely will.
Right.
It's like
me too. I'm in.
No, it's only like 15 people left, dude. It's crazy. 15 spots left.
Man.
This year of football has been like. And people,
there's 4 guys left in the pool. I was in 4 guys.
Oh man, yeah, it sucks, man. Tampa Bay and those
$200 pot, 4 guys.
Thank you, Tom Brady, for getting a divorce. Like, thank you for just talking out life.
I'll tell you this much: he might have to play a few more years because she's coming for that loot, Frank. You know the deal. You know the deal, Frank.
Yeah,
he's coming for that loot, and he's got that Fox contract.
Well, actually,
he's going to be working for a long time.
Oh, now let me tell you something. Tom's going to be the one that's going to get the alimony because she makes more money than he does.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Depends on what kind of lawyer she got.
Yeah,
it's Florida, dude. It's Florida.
Yeah. He's better be lucky. He ought to be lucky he's not playing in California.
Yeah. Here you go. Here's a tip for you. Here's a tip for you this week. Who were the Cardinals playing this week?
They played Thursday.
Oh, they played already.
No.
I'm sorry. The Ravens played. The Cardinals are playing.
Who are the Cardinals playing this week?
James, I'll let you look that up.
Yeah,
but
right there with you.
So, here's my feeling about the game. So, it's a shortened week, and it seems like a trap game, but here's where I'm going. And this is kind of in the same line of thinking that Frank's talking about. Philly, the city of Philly, is so electric. Like, we have automatic caffeine. Like, well, I thought about that too. Don't even joke with that. Don't even joke about that, Frank.
That's gonna run out of beer.
Don't stop. That's not even funny.
I think they're on their bye week this week.
Oh, okay.
No, they play. I saw the morning. I think they play.
Don't even joke about that, Frank. That's not funny.
But they have liquor, dude. You can supplement.
I get that, but you have to add other stuff. No, you don't. Okay, never mind. But my feeling is the Texans and this city and the adrenaline that's already going through all these athletes, the Eagles are just feeding off the wave. Like, they're just riding the draft wave that the Phillies are setting up. So they're just hitching their wagon to the Phillies and going, yeah, go ahead, win the World Series.
Cardinals play the Vikings.
Okay.
Mortgage your house, sell your kids, put every nickel on the Vikings.
Why'd you ask that question, Joe? Why'd you ask that question?
What? Why would you put all the money on the
Because
Vikings?
the Vikings are at home.
Because World of War the new video game was released this week, and my man loves his new video games. Quarterback from the Cardinals. Every time
Kyler Murray.
Yep. Every time that game is released new, he craps the bed.
Dude,
every time.
It's called Shut the Game Off. You own it.
He can't do it. He can't do it. He's addicted.
But
Vikings are going to cream that team. They'll win by like 17 touchdowns.
Well, here's the other thing: the Buffalo Bills game versus the Patriots. That I'm gonna take.
Bills play the Packers.
Packers? I thought it was the Patriots.
They play the Packers. Yeah,
they play the Packers.
Okay. Talk about Buffalo's a team going backwards.
Buffalo's favorite by 10.5.
Yeah, talk about a team going backwards. Who thought the Packers would be a 10-point dog?
That's a high. That's
I felt like they'd fall apart because when you let go of the best receiver in the league, I don't know what you're thinking. I mean, Aaron Rodgers got left holding the bag.
I don't know if you guys remember the Packers from I'm sure Damon does. The early 70s. They were the
not
Jets.
The early 70s. No,
the Packers in the early 70s were the Jets. I mean, that's how bad they were.
Yeah, they were horrible.
And they're heading.
That was after Lombardi, right? That was.
Oh yeah. Bart Starr was the coach at the time.
Bart Starr, yeah.
Yep.
There was a guy that the Eagles had named Michael. Was it Maddox? Not this Maddox. No, it was a running back. No, we had a running back.
Oh no, Michael Haddix.
Michael Haddix. Oh yeah. And he wound up
first round draft pick.
Yeah, he wound up going to Green Bay.
Yeah, he was a terrible first round draft pick.
He's a terrible first round draft pick.
Yeah.
James, what's your feelings about the Texans Eagles game on Thursday night? What are you feeling? Is it a trap game? Do you feel confident? What do you feel?
They're gonna win the game.
Not at all. I don't think it's a trap game at all. I think it's gonna be an obvious win. I think we're gonna be 8-0 and we're gonna be paraded down Broad Street after it's all over.
All
right.
Listen, I just want them. I know this is crazy. Hopefully, it's later in the season. Get one of them out the way. Because I want you to go in the playoffs, man. It's just tough, you know.
I get it. I look. There will be a loss, Dane. There'll be a loss. Relax.
I don't want to sound like I won a loss, but
I think they're going to lose the game to the Giants. Believe it or not, I think they're going to lose one to the Giants.
Well, I had them splitting the Giants anyhow. I really did. I didn't think the Giants were as good as they are.
They're really not.
I mean,
how are they winning? I'm watching them win. How are they winning?
It's an illusion.
No, they're playing really solid defense. They're playing really solid defense, and Saquon's not hurt.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Saquon goes down. The Giants ship sinks.
I was hoping they would put him on the.
Yeah, but you couldn't. You can't take that guy in the first round. They couldn't take it. They needed those.
I think David's talking about a couple years, like a year.
No, I'm talking about while he's with the Giants.
You wanted to trade for him?
Yeah. There was a year ago where that was possible.
Yeah, I wanted them to trade for Saquon.
When he went down with like a season-long injury, and the Giants were literally trying to blow it up, there was talks of like Saquon being on the trade block because he was the biggest piece.
Yeah. So we got Bradbury. That's good. Yeah. That's a good pickup.
Yeah,
you know
man.
What I'm saying?
And look,
he's made that. They're the best cornerback duo in the league right now.
I would even go one step further. I say cornerback trio. I think Maddox is a really good third guy. You know, I think he's going to get. I think Claypool's going to expose him.
I can't believe they added Quinn to this. I can't believe they added Quinn to this mix.
I don't know, man.
It's amazing, man.
It's mind blowing. It's mind blowing that we have a guy that good that's like, we have this guy too.
Yeah, when I read that,
you know who was not happy about this trade?
Quinn.
The Quinn trade. Eric Barnett. Eric Barnett, because he just lost his job.
Well, no, Quinn's a rental, dude. He's not going to be here.
I get it, but you don't think that for a minute that if you give Howie enough time. I mean, look what happened with Von Miller. He went to a situation where it's a club friendly, a franchise friendly contract. So think about this: you have Quinn in your house now. You can now say, "Hey, why don't you come back and we'll make it work."
I have another way of looking at that, Joe. I look at it as we all know that Derek Barnett plays a little looser, shall we say, than with a little less discipline. But I think this could be a come to Jesus moment for him. I mean,
Howie could say, a come to God moment right now.
I mean, he could say to Barnett, we went out and we got Quinn and we got that New Orleans pick, and everybody's going to be reaching for quarterbacks. And there's going to be a really, really, really good edge rusher available at the top of this draft. Maybe you ought to put your house in order. Maybe you want to get your head straight because you could be playing for like Green Bay next year. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm just saying. Like the clock's ticking.
I mean, for them to bring him back this year, unfortunately, he got hurt. I think that
he's going to come back. Yeah, he's going to come back.
But look, I have no doubt he's going to come back. But to what situation? I
want to know what his mental. I want to know where his head's going to be.
It's going to be in the toilet.
I think
no, it won't.
I think at this point, with those 2 high first-round picks, it's only clear to me that they're going to go draft a cornerback. They're finally going to get that young stud. Because I don't know if they're going to bring back Bradbury. Is it Bradbury? Is that correct?
Bradbury. No, Bradbury wants to come back. Bradbury wants to come back. He's already voiced that he wants to come back.
Yeah, but but for how much? Now, what you can do, you can still draft another young stud, sign him to like a 2-year deal, and bring the other stud up. You could do that.
Yeah.
But they have options, dude.
Relax about the money, because guess what happens next offseason?
The cap goes up.
Mr. Sharman Wentz contract officially comes off the books.
There's a whole lot of contracts that are going to drop off the Eagles page next year.
A lot of money's going to start accumulating.
A lot of money's going to drop. Now, that being said, they got to sign the quarterback.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's going to that's going to take a bit out of the bucket.
Yeah.
Oh, I understand, but I don't think he's going to demand as much as people think he's going to. Well, I understand the why, but I understand that he also knows that he's not like a Tom Brady yet or Pat Mahomes yet.
Nah, the agents don't think like that, Joe.
No, but agents don't think about that. But, my feeling is if the agent does the negotiation, which they normally do, but Hurts is going to have a say in the matter because he wants to have a good team around him. And he knows that when you have a big contract quarterback, sometimes that doesn't happen.
Yeah, but you can't. But listen. Okay, so we win the East, right? The Eagles win the East, going to the Super Bowl. Dude, he just gave himself a blank check.
Yeah,
I get
Frank, he gave himself a blank check.
Joe,
because
know me, I'm going to give you your minute here, Joe, because you know my doubts I had about Hurts.
Yeah, me too. I had him too. He's answered
but
them.
This kid right now, he's playing MVP quality football.
Yeah, man.
He's playing MVP quality football. And Joe Scourges just had a thing up there that Quinn's a free agent at the end of the year. No, he's not, Joe. He has a 2-year contract, but it's not guaranteed. They can let him go at the end of the year. Part of the deal was that at the end of this year they let him be an unrestricted free agent. That was another part of the deal.
Yeah,
but
but Joe, but as far as quarterbacks, right? You lead your team in that position. You gotta take the money.
The Players Association will not let him take a team-friendly deal.
I get that.
And the fact that he's a second-round pick. Oh, dude, he wants.
No. He's going to get paid.
That blank check is sitting there, man.
He's going to get paid.
Listen,
now, what could happen though, Joe? What could possibly happen is that your new best friend, Howie, right? Your new best friend can do what Howie does
and sign him early.
Frank, week 15, breaking news. New contract.
If he waits till week 15, it's too late. If he waits till week 15, it's too late. If he should be, they should have did it this week on the bye week.
No, they don't. I don't want it this week. You know why? Because I want him to continue to have that carrot dangling. I need that carrot to continue.
Yeah, I'm with Dame. I need
that carrot to continue.
You let it go later. The later it goes, and the longer he plays, and the better he looks, the more it's going to cost.
I get that, but we've gone down this rabbit hole before with Carson Wentz.
Yes,
I don't want to do it anymore.
You don't have a choice, Joe. I mean, in this league,
I do. I don't have to cut the check now.
No, but here's the thing: in that game, quarterback is everything. Okay,
I get it.
And preseason rankings on Jalen Hurts, there were some guys that didn't even have him in the top 25.
No.
Correct.
And you know where he is sitting now in quarterback ranking? Third.
Third.
Yeah,
top
right.
3.
Third. Well, he's third
He's sitting
in
third.
most. Yeah, and who said he'd be a top 5 quarterback?
I don't know.
Some guy named Joey Marks.
no.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
No,
Yeah,
Joe,
you did.
listen. All I needed him to
But
do.
he's making the throws, Joe. I got to give it to him.
That's
He's making
it.
the throws.
I need him to get the ball out,
Yep.
and he's doing just that and some.
He's making the throws, and I that's the last thing I needed to see. Everything else, I was like, this guy's great. I love him. But he needed to make those throws.
Yeah, he's just making those throws, man.
We're coming
he's
to
making
the
them.
end, and so I want to get predictions for the Eagles Texans game. Frank, I'll start with you.
I see like 27-14.
Okay. Damon?
Yeah,
Defensive score.
23-15, something that ballpark. It's going to be close.
James?
I got to say, it's not even going to be that close. I think it's going to be like a blowout, 31-7 Birds.
Woo!
Oof. On a Thursday night?
I am with James scores it. I am with this is going to be a rout. I'm even going to go one step further. I am going to go 42-14 Birds.
40 burger? They're going to drop a 40 burger on a
40
Thursday?
burger on Thursday Night Football.
That's amazing.
And that is going to do it for today. James, tell them who our lovely sponsors are for this show.
Yes, indeed, my friend. And we are proudly sponsored by David R. Cherry, Esquire, for workers' compensation, motor vehicle accidents, personal injury, criminal law. Give him a call at 610-565-0300. And like I said, Philly sports trips, don't mind this, that I know it's already passed, but there's another trip that's going to happen in the next week or so. Obviously, the Phillies are in Houston, and there's another game between the Eagles and the Texans. And it quotes lower level ticket, bus, food, drink, entertainment for only $325. Visit phillysportstrips.com today and purchase your tickets for this once-in-a-lifetime event.
I just drank coffee grounds. That's nice.
Nice. It's good roughage, Joe. You'll be fine.
Okay.
Good roughage. Awesome.
Hey, are we hanging on after we?
Yeah, yes, we are. So that's going to do it for us today. For my man James Scores, man in the helm. For my main man Damon Salim, Frank Finnegan, Dave Yarnold, and the Captain, Tom Kelly. Yes. This is the Pattison Ave Phanatics, and we are out. Go Phils.
Go Phils.